I was 20 years old when I met a man who was 9 years older than me. We started dating, and for the first time, I felt something I hadn't felt before: safe. One day, we were at my parents' house. There was a family member. There was a family member sleeping. I don't remember what started it, only how quickly it escalated. Suddenly, that abuser had me pinned up against the wall. As I always did, I screamed at him to let go. And then something different happened. Jack stepped in. He grabbed the abuser and threw him up against the opposite wall. I ran downstairs, as I always did, to get away from him. That was the last time I was ever touched again. I was 21 years old. From that moment on, the only person who had ever stood up to him became my husband. After we got married, things began to change. At first, it was small things I tried to ignore: hidden Playboy magazines, sneaking away to smoke, little cracks that I convinced myself didn't matter. But over time, the cracks widened. One early morning around 3 a.m., I woke up to use the bathroom. As I was walking down the hallway, the phone rang. My heart stopped. At that hour, you assume the worst, that something had happened to someone you love. I answered. Instead, I hear an overly excited woman giving me her name and asking what she had won. She had dialed the wrong number. The next night, early in the morning, it happened again, and then again. Different voices, same question: what did I win? One man even started to give me his credit card number. That's when I knew something inside of me shifted. That wasn't random. I asked Jack what he thought was going on, and to my surprise, he suggested his brother might be scamming people. But that didn't make sense. Why would our phone number be involved? Then, just as suddenly as the call started, they stopped. Looking back, I can see something clearly now that I couldn't see then. Before we got married, I saw the red flags. I saw them, but I ignored them. Because how could I not marry the one person who protected me? He was the only one who stood between the abuser and me. Not my parents, him. And I loved him for that. The truth came in pieces, and then all at once, Jack was having an affair. 16 months after our wedding, I was divorced. A few months later, my family was gathered. Thanksgiving, maybe Christmas. I don't remember exactly. We were sitting around the table, eating and talking, when suddenly my oldest brother mentioned how the money had came at the right time. And then my sister-in-law added that they had used theirs to replace their dishwasher. I remember sitting there confused. What money? I asked. That's when I learned my grandmother had passed away 6 months earlier, and that our family had received an inheritance. My parents had sent me a check I never seen. When they didn't hear from me, they called. I wasn't home. Jack answered. He told them we received it. He thanked them. He said all the right things. And I remember something then. I came home from work one day and Jack was telling me that he had won some money gambling and that we should use it to pay off some of the credit cards. And we did. What I didn't know at the time was that he had forged my name on my inheritance check and taken the rest. And suddenly everything clicked. The phone calls, the voices, the credit card numbers. It wasn't random. The betrayal didn't just break my heart, it broke something much deeper. I felt sick, violated, ashamed, and more than anything, I blamed myself for missing the signs, for trusting him, for choosing him. The affair hurt, but this was different. This felt like something had been taken from me in a way I couldn't get back. The pain became unbearable. It wasn't just about Jack, it was everything. Years of feeling unseen, unheard, unprotected. It's all rose to the surface at once, and I didn't know how to hold it. So I tried to escape it. I attempted to end my life by slicing both of my wrists. Afterward, people would say things like, "No man is worth dying for." But it was never about him. It was about the pain, not just from the relationship, but from everything that came before it. That moment wasn't the end of my story, but it was the moment I could no longer outrun what I had been carrying for years. Dear you, sometimes we don't choose people because they're right for us. Sometimes we choose them because they feel familiar, because they give us something we've been searching for our entire lives. There's no shame in that. We all do the best we can with what we know at the time. The goal isn't to judge the person you used to be. The goal is to understand them, because understanding creates compassion, and compassion creates freedom. Sincerely, me.